Diddly do, my diddlers and diddlettes. I hope your day is going well, and I would like to welcome you back to another episode of Dramatic Diddles. Since today is Sunday, I have gone out and found a fanfiction that should take us quite a while to finish. This fanfiction is called High School and Figure Skating by Symphony of the Soul. Now, I originally wasn't planning on doing two Sonic fanfictions in a row, but this one means a lot to me. I've said that about the past two fanfictions that I've read, but this one actually does. I originally found this in middle school and fell in love with it, but was forced to stop reading it when the author stopped updating. Now, I don't know if the story is completely finished or not. We'll have to see once we get close to the end. I see now there are at least 35 chapters, so this should last us quite a while. Also, on a quick side note, the first chapter is very short, so I will be combining it with the second chapter. So hopefully this video will be long enough, and with all that out of the way, let's get started. High School and Figure Skating by Symphony of the Soul. Amy Rose woke up to the sound of her alarm clock buzzing in her ear. This was the day. Her first day of high school. She was going to Mobius Academy, a boarding school, with the rest of the Sonic gang. Most of them were starting in the same grade, save for Cream and Charmy, who would be going to middle school, as well as Vector, who decided to be an inside man in the school and teach gym. Amy did her morning routine, brushing teeth, showering, eating, etc., and looked at the clock. It was 10 a.m. now. She needed to leave by 11 a.m. She then put on her uniform, which consisted of a black tank top, a light green jacket, and a light green miniskirt. This ensemble was chosen by Amy, despite it being a uniform. The school actually supplied many choices to mix and match for a student's uniform. Next, she put on a black headband and black heels, along with a gold belt and 2 gold bangles. Satisfied with how the outfit was put together, she looked at the clock, reading 10:30. Amy finished packing her remaining items into a large suitcase and double-checked to see if everything in the house was in order before she left. At 10:50, Amy was convinced all was in order and headed outside with her bag to wait for the bus. The bus arrived right on time, and Amy handed the driver her bag, who was almost knocked over by the sheer weight of it. On the bus, Amy looked around, seeing the whole gang already there. "Hi guys," she said. In return, she got a series of greetings as she went and sat down in a seat by Cream, across the aisle from Rouge. Cream was wearing the middle school uniform, which resembled a light green and white sailor suit. Rouge wore a black tank top with a light green jacket and miniskirt. Rouge, unlike Amy, didn't wear any jewelry, but instead wore her signature black boots that went up above her knees. "This is going to be great," Amy said. "I agree, but I don't see why all of us have to be freshmen," Rouge complained. "I mean, I should be a senior." "Well, we've never really gotten a real education, so I guess we should be thankful we weren't sent to elementary school," Amy explained. "Yeah," Cream said. "I'm surprised I wasn't sent to elementary school. Charmy too." The rest of the bus ride was comprised of talking about the school, people they'd meet, and other random things of that matter. Before long, they arrived at the school. Once everyone had gotten off the bus and collected their bags, they walked into school, the place they were spending the next 4 years. As soon as the gang entered, they were greeted by a purple cat with a red jewel on her forehead. She was wearing a tank top with light green as the top half and white as the bottom. She wore the light green jacket over the tank top, and wore a light green miniskirt with black jeans underneath. She also wore the set of shoes the school sells, white closed-toe flats with a band around the ankle. "Hi, I'm Blaze the Cat," she announced to the group. "I'm a freshman here at MA, like you, but I'll also be your guide around the school. Feel free to ask me any questions. Now if you'll follow me, I'll show you to your dorm." Once they got to the dorm, they were greeted by a hedgehog with a peculiar hairdo. "Hey, the name's Silver, Silver the Hedgehog. Looks like we're gonna be dorm mates," Silver said with a grin. "Moving on, your names are on the door of your room. Girls are through the door on the right, boys the door on the left. Go ahead and unpack, then we'll go on a tour of the school," Blaze said. On the girls' side of the dorm, there were 5 rooms. and each girl had their own. Amy was the first, then Rouge, then Blaze, followed by a girl named Wave, and with a girl named Cameron at the end of the hall. Each girl had a bed, desk, dresser, lamp, bedside table, and window in their room. Each girl also had a closet and personal bathroom at their disposal. The boys' side was set up the same as the girls', with 5 rooms. But due to the larger amount of boys, they had to share rooms. The pairs were Sonic and Tails in the first room, Knuckles and Shadow in the next, Esbio and Silver after that, and then 2 guys named Jet and Storm, and finally, the dorm supervisor, Vector. The setup of the rooms were the same, only with 2 of each piece of movable furniture. The main area of the dorm had a living room with 2 couches, a few chairs, and a flat-screen TV mounted on the wall, complete with a DVD player and surround sound. There was also a kitchen with a stove/oven, microwave, toaster, coffee pot, fridge, sink, lots of cabinets, and a counter that surrounded the area on 3 sides. There was an island in the middle of the kitchen too. Beside the kitchen was a dining area, which was basically a huge table surrounded by 14 chairs. Damn, I wish my college was like this. As everyone got done unpacking, they came out and were given their schedules and maps by Blaze. Blaze then gave them the grand tour, showing them all of their classes, the cafeteria, the gym, the auditorium, etc. Then it was time for the school dinner, which is only on the first and last days of school. This is where the students were to introduce themselves to their classmates. At the table the gang had claimed, Blaze and Silver were pointing out the people they knew and how to approach them. They, Blaze pointed to the group of 3 birds, a green hawk, a purple swallow, and a gray albatross, are Jet the hawk, Wave the swallow, and Storm the albatross. They call themselves the Babylon Rogues. They're also our dorm mates. They look mean, but once you get to know them, they're okay. And those guys, Silver pointed to 2 groups of 3 made up of assorted species, are the most popular people in the school, and also the class bullies. The girls' queen bee is Hannah the Hedgehog. She gets whatever she wants, when she wants. Her 2 current group members are Anna the Rabbit and Montana the Cat. She gets new ones every few months or so. Maybe more if the ones she has are loyal to her or not, Blaze said. The leader of the boys' group is Peter the Porcupine, a real stuck-up brat if you ask me. His lackeys are Butch and Spike, twin crocodiles. Those 2 groups rule the school together. You'd best not get in their way, Silver commented. The only other person you have to worry about is her, Blaze said, pointing to a brown female echidna. Her hair was draped over her right eye and went down to her waist, with light green on the top half and white on the bottom half. The light green jacket, and unlike most of the girls in the school, a long light green skirt with white along the bottom that went down to her ankles. She wore the school's set of shoes, like Blaze, and had a golden locket dangling around her neck. The tables were fairly large, some of them overcrowded, and despite that, her table was completely empty, with her sitting in the middle. She's Cameron the Echidna, aka the school outcast. There are various rumors going around about her, but the only facts I know are that she's a figure skater, she's our last dorm mate, and something bad always happens to the people who get close to her. Both of her parents are dead, and the last guy who tried to be her friend was hit by a car the day they were officially friends, Blaze explained. Some people say she's cursed, Silver added. The guy who was hit by the car recovered, but when he came back, Cam went up to him to ask if he was okay and if he needed any help. He punched her in the face and told her he never wanted to see her face again. She's avoided him ever since, Blaze ended the story. There was a long silence at the table. Minnie looked over at Cam, eating alone, no emotion on her face. Anyway, Silver said, trying to move on with the conversation. You should avoid her as much as possible. Don't talk to her, don't help her, and definitely don't smile at her in a kind manner. At least not out in public. All of a sudden, there was a commotion from the other side of the lunchroom. Hannah and Peter had moved with their comrades to a position in front of Cam. Her food was now knocked across the table and completely ruined. Not again, Blaze said as she signaled everyone to move closer to the scene and watch. May I help you? Cam asked, looking at the pair with no emotion whatsoever. What were you doing just now? Hannah yelled in a rather annoying manner. Eating, Cam said simply. Liar, Hannah yelled. You were looking at me! Is there something wrong with observing the world around me? Cam asked, still no emotion. You were trying to curse me, weren't you? Hannah yelled once again. Witch! Anna yelled. Demon! Montana yelled. No, really. I was just looking, Cam said again. You're a liar, Peter yelled. Butch! Spike! The two crocodiles then jumped over the table and took Cam by the arms. Jesus Christ. The two crocodiles then jumped over the table and took Cam by the arms, pulled her out of her chair, and slammed her against the wall, holding her there. Cam flinched, but afterwards still stared at him with the same emotionless face as always. You know what you get for lying, don't you? Peter asked her, getting right up in her face. The same thing I get for everything I do, be it wrong or not? Cam asked. Something changed in her eyes when she said that. They turned from dull brown to a lighter shade, like life was put back in them, like they were smirking for her. Why, you little! Peter yelled before punching her twice, one punch on each cheek. Cam moved her head back forward, looking at Peter again. The light in her eyes had disappeared once more. Now, what were you doing again? Peter asked in a low voice. I was trying to curse her, Cam said, averting her gaze. Well then, I suppose I'll forgive you this time. But what about you, Hannah? Peter asked. I say it's unforgivable, Hannah said in a smug way. Well then, you know what to do. Butch, Spike, Peter directed. The two just nodded and walked Cam through the crowd toward the doors. On the way, they passed right through the Sonic gang, all staring at Cam. She only stared at the ground. Back with Peter and Hannah, everyone was showering praise and concern on the two, with no concern for Cam whatsoever. Everyone returned back to the table, still taking it all in. It's been like that since elementary school, Silver said. She's not dead yet, and she won't be dead today. I just don't get it, Amy said. Why won't she fight back? She can't, Blaze said. She tried once, in middle school. As soon as she landed one punch, the teachers came in and busted the fight up. Cam was given detention for 3 months, and had to clean the school every day after school for the rest of the year. Then why aren't those guys punished? Tails asked. I already told you, Blaze said. They rule the school. With that, the dinner ended and everyone retired to their dorms. When the gang got back, they found the Babylon Rogue sitting on one of the couches watching TV. Hey, Jet greeted. That girl had me give you guys a message. She says, I noticed you didn't eat anything at dinner. There's food staying warm in the oven. Help yourselves. She's in her room now. I don't know how, but she didn't have so much as a scratch on her. Maybe she really is a witch. Oh, please, Jet, Wave said while rolling her eyes. It's been like that since elementary school. Get over it. Was Storm's only comment. Ugh, why do I even hang out with you guys? Wave asked. Meanwhile, Sonic had already gone and investigated the oven. Dude! This food is awesome! Sonic yelled from the kitchen. Well, don't eat all of it, Sonic. Help me put it on the table, Amy yelled back. Soon, all of the food was on the table, and those who would only had a few seconds to admire the display before it was attacked, and had to rush to get some. In a matter of minutes, all of the food was gone. Okay, now who's gonna do the dishes? Tails asked. There were choruses of I'm nots and they will from the group, until another person spoke up. I'll do them, Cam simply stated as she began collecting the dishes. Well, if you insist, Amy began, I'll help you. Amy then began collecting the dishes on the other side of the table. What? I can do them on my own. Cam was shocked at Amy's actions. No, that wouldn't be fair. You cooked. You should relax. Have a little fun, Amy said, now taking Cam's pile of dishes and the task of washing the dishes. No one had shown her this much kindness since her mother. Cam was snapped out of her daze by a hand on her shoulder. Yoo-hoo! Mobius to Cam! Mobius to Cam! Do you read? Sonic said, shaking her a little. Yeah, I kind of have to in order to pass any subject, Cam said, confused. Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, heck, everyone cracked up at this remark. What? Cam asked, blinking. This only made everyone, except Shadow and Esbio, who just smirked, laugh even harder. What's so funny? It's true! Cam yelled. This was so confusing. Everyone else was busy laughing, so Shadow had to explain. It's a joke. It's supposed to indicate you were spaced out. So that way of speaking was like that of reaching an astronaut in space, Shadow stated. Oh, okay. I get it. Sort of, Cam said. Okay, it's 10 o'clock. You have a half an hour till lights out, Fector yelled as he walked into the room. Big day tomorrow. You better get your rest. There were various comments to this statement, but everyone went back to their rooms to get ready for bed nonetheless. And that is the end of chapters 1 and 2. I remember almost nothing from this story except for the fact that after chapter 2, these get really, really long. So one chapter video should definitely suit you guys for a while. So I'm going to get some rest. Probably going to be up editing this late at night because Diego's probably already asleep. Yeah. So with that being said, leave me a comment letting me know what you want me to read next time, and I will see you guys in the next video. Diddle out. I see Hannah Montana. I want to die. Okay, where are we? She gets new ones every few months or so. She gets new ones every few months or so. Months or so. Now months doesn't sound like a word. Month. Every few months or so. Every few months or so. Gosh. I know that's going at the end. God dang it. Alright. She gets new ones every few months or so. She gets new ones every few months or so. Months. Fuck it. She gets new ones every few months or so. Maybe more if